For years, the prevailing corporate strategy focused on accumulating every available stream of information into a single, massive data lake. This provided a clear operational advantage. By pooling data, organizations could identify broad market trends and build a predictive intelligence model that wasn't possible in isolation. However, this model relied on a risky requirement: moving competitively sensitive information, or CSI, outside of an organization's secure, sovereign perimeter to reach that central pool. By pooling data out of its local vault to understand the market, companies inadvertently created a high-value target for attackers, turning their primary intelligence asset into a significant vulnerability. The regulatory environment has since caught up to this risk. Strict mandates like GDPR, Law 25, and FTC antitrust enforcement have fundamentally changed the rules for data handling. These laws effectively criminalize the centralized pooling of sensitive information, rendering traditional extraction a massive legal liability. Simply adding security to a data lake doesn't solve the problem. In this landscape, any instance of data egress, sending raw data across a perimeter, is a zero-day liability. This creates a direct conflict for leadership. Businesses still need to synchronize with their markets to remain competitive, but the raw data movement required to do so is now a regulatory violation. The regulatory pressure on extraction has reached a breaking point. For a company to function today, it must find a way to extract intelligence without moving the underlying bytes. Solving this requires a reversal of the traditional data pipeline. Instead of pulling data out to a central processor, we move the processor into the data's home. This is achieved through the Helix Mesh Processor, which functions as an authorized local processor. Using a build-with architecture, the processor is deployed directly inside your existing sovereign firewall. Once deployed, it ingests your sensitive, hot data locally. The raw information never crosses the perimeter. By containing the ingestion process entirely within your sovereign walls, the processor establishes a secure computational environment at the edge without initiating an egress event. The processor's primary task is to compute the raw data to identify its underlying causal pattern. This mathematical pattern contains the market intelligence necessary for synchronization, but it is entirely devoid of the sensitive raw details that carry legal risk. As soon as that pattern is successfully formed, the processor executes a garbage collection command, gc.collect. This command ensures the raw data is wiped from the system's memory. The sensitive inputs are purged, leaving only the abstracted pattern behind. This immediate purge ensures that the high-value intelligence is preserved, while the raw data, and the liability that comes with it, is removed from the local node. Because the raw data has been purged, the remaining pattern safely phases through the firewall. Since this pattern is a mathematical derivative, stripped of identifying markers, it can be shared across perimeters without violating the specific constraints placed on raw sensitive data. Outside the wall, this pattern links with others from across the industry to form a synchronized market mesh. This mesh serves the same collaborative purpose as the old data lakes, but without the central point of failure. It allows competing organizations to synchronize their intelligence and respond to market shifts, while their respective raw data stores remain invisible to one another. For executive leadership, this architecture fulfills a critical operational requirement: zero data egress. Organizations retain the deep historical intelligence needed to navigate complex markets. Simultaneously, the specific cybersecurity risks inherent to data extraction and external pooling are removed, as the raw data never leaves the source. When sensitive information remains stationary, the threat of massive antitrust violations and privacy lawsuits becomes a moot point. Data sovereignty is realized through this shift in architecture, an environment where intelligence is synchronized globally, but sensitive data never leaves its source.